Aljamain Sterling, the bantamweight champion of the UFC, just announced when he'll be fighting next. Just recently, he announced exactly when he's prepared to return to the cage, what he's going to be doing while he's taking his time off, who he wants to fight next, and how these fighters have responded to Aljamain's statements. Aljamain just spoke about who he wants to fight next when he returns to the UFC. He mentioned names of Henry Cejudo, Sugar Sean O'Malley, and Chito Vera. Guys, I think all three of these will be incredible fights. The least likely fight we'll see is Chito Vera, just because there's not a lot of hype behind it. Behind the other two fights, Sugar Sean O'Malley and Henry Cejudo, there's a lot more momentum, and I think a lot more people want to see those fights. A great case to make who will fight Aljamain Sterling next is Sugar Sean O'Malley. Coming off that controversial decision, beating Peter Yan, Sugar Sean is now ranked #1 in the division. There's a lot of popularity behind this guy. There's a lot of controversy. Making this fight and promoting this fight would be a huge slam dunk for the UFC. But the most likely fight for Aljamain Sterling is going to be with Henry Cejudo. Reason being, Dana White's already spoken and hinted that this fight is in the works. During the UFC 280 post-fight press conference, Dana White gave us some hints about Henry Cejudo's return, how Henry Cejudo has already been tested and cleared by the USADA, meaning he can fight at any time. Hearing from Henry Cejudo himself, he wants this fight with Sterling. He's throwing a lot of shots at Sterling, throwing a lot of shots at the entire division, saying he never really lost his belt and he's ready to come back and reclaim the championship. In my opinion, Cejudo and Sterling is plan A for Dana White. Plan B is Sugar Sean O'Malley. Both great options, both great fights. So Sterling's estimated return time to the UFC is summer of 2023. The reasons he gives, looking at the UFC's champions history, most champions only fight 1, maybe 2 times a year to defend their belts. Sterling's defended his belt twice in 2022, and he feels he deserves some time off to rest, recover, focus on his business ventures. In summer of 2023, he wants to come back and fight. I can see where Sterling's coming from. These training camps are brutal on these guys. Sterling's already been very vocal that the weight cuts are very tough for him. It's only natural for Sterling to want to take some time off. That being said, he is taking a considerably long amount of time off, and in the underground MMA conversations, there is talk that an interim belt will be popping up in the bantamweight division to hold us over until we get to see Sterling fight again. The interim belt makes sense because this weight class is stacked. Like I said, we got Chito Vera, we got Sugar Sean O'Malley, and now Henry Cejudo's back in the mix. I would love to see a fight between 2 out of the 3 of these guys. I'd love to see them all fight, but we can only get 2 of them to fight for the interim belt. Henry Cejudo agrees with the interim belt idea. He calls out the #1 ranked Sugar Sean O'Malley for a fight for the interim belt and tags Dana White. Cejudo wants to fight Sugar Sean in UFC 284, Perth, Australia. The same card where Islam and Volkanovski will be fighting. Will Sean be ready for that, considering it's supposed to be in February? Sean got beaten up pretty bad in the Yan fight. Will Sean be ready to fight for UFC 284? I don't know. Sean did have some things to say about Henry's call out. Mentioned that he's spoken with someone that's very close with Henry Cejudo, who told Sean that Cejudo's broke, dead broke. He's trying to get a fight going as soon as possible because he's broke. What do you guys think? Do you think Henry and Sean will fight in Perth, Australia at UFC 284? Do you agree that there should be an interim belt until Sterling comes back and fights, or should we wait till summer 2023 to see Sterling fight